welcome. How you doing? It's the Wells Report on the USA Radio Network. I'm James Parker, sitting in for John David Wells. In the latest in the spat between the squad and the president, I think the real message here is what's being missed. You know, you ever thought, what would they report on if they weren't having a fit over whatever Trump tweeted lately? And if you are someone who does not support Trump, in fact, if you're one of these people that despises Trump, you're probably wondering, man, why won't any of these people, why won't this shake their support of Trump? What? Because there's something he said on Twitter that offended a lot of people, and now we all swear this is the end, and for real this time he's a racist, and impeachment's right around the corner. Dude, you've been saying that for 3 years now. Who the heck would believe you at this point? Oh, really? Trump said something, a bunch of people are offended? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I can't even believe that you would think that's even newsworthy at this point. Anyway, we'll go back and forth because I think I'm going to be making the case, and sort of unintentionally, that they really do dislike America. And I don't want to say all liberals or all Democrats because, you know, there are differing factions in there, and some of them, a big chunk, probably most of them, don't dislike America. They don't have antipathy for America as much as they have apathy for America. They're like, yeah, I mean, it's great, but no better or worse than any of these other countries. I mean, inherently speaking, sure, we're a little more rich, but, you know, that's really because we've been, abusing these other poor countries. You know, there's always an answer for it. But anyway, sound bites are coming. The latest updates are coming. Trump is speaking to the press right now. We'll give that a listen in just a second. Here.
I don't have very many
Yeah, so we'll go back to that in just a second as well. But I'm going to do the phone first. Doug, Fort Worth. You're on the Wells Report with James Parker. What's up, Doug? Oh, I have to pull it up. I'm sorry. I'm used to it. Go ahead, Doug.
Oh, it's good to hear you, younger than me, talk about this stuff. It'll keep the dream alive when we're gone. I've lived all over places in military and airline career all my life. I'm in my late 60s now. And if these people think that this country is that bad, we've got some minor problems to work out. They need to live anywhere else because there's open racism, sexism, homophobism, all that stuff in every other country except very few. Us, believe it or not, in Israel, I mean, they have Muslims serving in their armed forces. They have gays serving in their armed forces. I mean, it's just as long as you're a proud nationalist of that country, you are a good person, and you get to serve, and you get to travel, and all that. Anyway, living conditions, everything, the way people are treated, bar none. I mean, it's open everywhere else. Here, there's just very few that I can see real racists left, and that's all I have to say. Is these people haven't been out of the suburbs or haven't been out of their little box, so they really don't know what life is, especially Ocasio-Cortez up there in New York. And
I think most people agree with everything you've said so far, but what's your explanation, Doug, for someone who has been out of this country and who has seen firsthand how bad it gets? Someone like Ilhan Omar, who was born in Somalia, and when her warlord lost a little tribal conflict with the warlord next to him, they had to be rushed away to a refugee camp for 4 years in Kenya, and then finally America opened their arms to a bunch of these Muslim refugees and took her in. How does someone like that grow up and say the things she says about America now?
Well, I don't know. I've studied a little bit about Islam from a professor in Tennessee that gets death threats all the time because he's studied it, he's lived it, and he's researched it. And it's just that's either she wants to really do what their theocracy says is turn everybody Muslim or kill them or enslave them, or like a friend in Austin, Texas says, she's just willfully ignorant. That's all I can think.
Yeah, thank you very much for your call, Doug. And
you bet, buddy.
Half of that is the perfect explanation, but the other half of it is really the question mark. And Doug was bringing up exactly what I was trying to spell out in the last segment. When I talk about the left or Democrats or the people that hate this country, which I'm about to do in the next couple of segments, I'm not talking about all Democrats and I'm not talking about leftists. In fact, if you're a leftist and you're listening to this show right now, you're probably not in the category I'm talking about. There's extreme wings and there's factions within both sides of the party. Because, look, all the people that vote Democrat do not share the same system of values. You know, you can go to South Central Los Angeles and find a whole bunch of Democrat voters there, and they will have almost nothing in common with the granola, Birkenstock-wearing Vermont mountains liberal, right? Two different types of one. One is a hippie guy in the country, and the other one's, loves guns, loves SUVs, loves acquiring wealth and displays of it, things that would be an anathema to the Bernie Sanders guy over in Vermont. All right, so I'm just talking about a specific strain within leftism, but I'm going to use general terms. Please excuse me. But hang on. Let me point out what the news is focusing on right now, because if we're going to call this not newsworthy, well, what should they be reporting on is a very interesting take here. Because what would they be reporting on? Well, last Friday, we just had a bang-up jobs report. And I don't mean last Friday like 5 days ago. I mean like last Friday. But that was kind of the beginning of this. And we've had more economic news come in. We've had markets at the end of last week, they were reaching all-time highs. They started this week on Monday. All three indices reached an all-time record high. Almost unheard of. This is the least reported economic boom in American history. It'd be hard to argue against it. How few times has this market set a record, and it even got mentioned in the evening news on the networks? How much do you think the MSNBC crew mentioned the word stock market record versus impeachment or racism? You think it's even close? But also, without Trump's tweets dominating the news cycle, what else would be dominating the news cycle? I would say the feud that was going on between Nancy Pelosi and the squad. That's what was dominating the news before Trump. You know, and Trump didn't really do anything. They just wanted to go seize on something else. He does what he does every day. Hey, everyone who is with me is awesome, magnificent, terrific, fantastic, the best ever. Everybody says so, believe me. And then everyone's against him. They're horrible, they're stupid, they're a loser. Everyone agrees, believe me. So he's just being himself, and there was an interesting circular firing squad that was going on because Nancy Pelosi said something about the squad, and they threw back at her that why are you criticizing females of color? It's like, oh, they threw the race card and the gender card at Nancy Pelosi. Now, the gender card got thrown away real quick because she can throw up the intersectional block because I'm a woman too, so the gender card doesn't work against me. But the person of color stuff was sticking. And thank goodness the media just decided to stop focusing on that for a little bit. But also, what else would we be talking about? The Democrat 20 candidates or whatever they got going on, they were just releasing all kinds of programs and debates, and there was more internecine conflict going on in there, where Kamala Harris, the senator out of California, was criticizing former Vice President Joe Biden for his lack of support for federal busing, and then turns out she doesn't really support it either. It just sounded good to bust him up in the debate. What else happened? In Washington State, last weekend, a 69-year-old armed with a rifle and what's called incendiary devices. I think it's a Molotov cocktail, but incendiary devices. He attempted to light a car on fire and then ignite a propane tank outside a Tacoma Migrant Detention Center. And they're like, oh, no, look, a gunman is trying to harm these innocent immigrants. No, he actually had a little manifesto. After he tried to light the propane tank on fire, he was confronted by police, ended up getting shot for his trouble when he leveled his gun at him. But he called himself a member of Antifa. Really? There was an attempted domestic terror attack by a member of Antifa? And I'm not calling him Antifa. That's what he says. That's what he said in his manifesto. I am Antifa. In Aurora, Colorado over the weekend, about 2,000 people banded together outside another ICE detention facility. A lot of them were wearing the all black and had their face covered, looking scary as hell. They pulled down an American flag, replaced it with the Mexican flag. Why wouldn't that be a top news story? Oh, no. Donald Trump said these women don't love America, and that sure is racist. He didn't even say anything about race. But the point is a couple. It's twofold right here. Number one, the greatest bias that the media has is in the stories and the facts that it does not cover. And that's a beautiful thing if you're going to be biased, because you can't be accused of lying if you just ignore it. And that's a great way to push your agenda. Like another thing over here. Did you see a couple of weeks ago when it was Pride Month for June? We were getting stories. I printed out an AP story where they're in Hulbert, Oklahoma. You ever heard of Hulbert, Oklahoma? Hulbert? I haven't. It's just a little dinky town, completely insignificant. But a guy put on the back of his truck, he's got a big old pickup, and it put a rainbow sticker, and it says, "Not all country boys are bigots. Happy Pride Month." By what journalistic metric is that a national news story? Because this was reported by the Associated Press. You're reporting on stickers that they put on the back of pickup trucks in Nowhere, Oklahoma? Oh, not all truck stickers. No, there's hundreds of thousands of stickers on the back of vehicles. You go report on the one that fits your narrative. What about all the pro-gun stickers? What about all the anti-Obama stickers that were on the back of pickup trucks? They ever do stories on those? No? Oh, that's weird. And what a weird message. Not all country boys are bigots. How about very, very few of anybody is a bigot in America? This is 2019. What are you talking about? We are not in some religious hellhole. We are not. This isn't Mississippi burning. I know they wish it was. But for some people, when your main currency is racism and racism goes away, you're in a tough spot. You have to kind of invent it now these days, don't you? But I just find it completely fascinating on what they are not reporting this week, things that have been going on. In lieu of this, in lieu of the crap that they are reporting, in lieu of this tit-for-tat junior high cafeteria bickering between Trump and the squad. 844-RADIO-US, 844-723-4687. No, Isaac, I do not believe the original tweets were racist. Isaac, I do not believe that because race was not mentioned. I do not believe that because if you plugged in Piers Morgan, that's something that we have said before. To the exact, it's almost the exact same argument. If you don't like our policies, if you think our country's so damn bad, why are you still here? It's a legitimate complaint. If someone goes into a room and says, "Boy, it really smells in here. There's no TV in here. The ventilation's terrible. It's too hot. The thermostat's not working. This place is just horrible." Why are you still in here? If someone comes over to your house and it's movie night and you have a couple friends over and y'all are all watching a movie and this guy's been griping about the movie for the last hour, this is the most horrible. You can leave. If you really didn't like this movie, you would leave. If it really bothered you that much, you would leave. If you really thought this country was full of the type of people you are describing, which it's not, but if you really do believe what you're saying, you would leave. It's the same argument or a similar argument on climate change. If you really believe that the seas are going to rise 6 feet over the next 100 years, Miami's going to be underwater, and all the beaches are going to be underwater, Manhattan's going to be underwater, why did you just buy a house on the beach? In fact, why are all of y'all living in the beach? Why are all of y'all living in either Manhattan or maybe South Beach, Miami, or Malibu, little beach communities? Yeah, and just like the same guy that flies on a private jet to get in a fleet of SUVs to come to tell you burning CO2 is going to kill everybody, the world, all the animals and human beings in it. Why are you doing this? Why are you still behaving in the way you're behaving? If this country's so damn bad, it's a legitimate question. Why are you still here? So that's sort of the answer, Isaac, over here in Facebook. If you want to call in, we can have more of a conversation. 844-RADIO-US, 844-723-4687. Now, let me tell you why Trump's poll numbers have actually gone up in the wake of this huge scandal. Oh, this is a bombshell. All I have to do is go back to a montage that was put together. This is after 18 months of Trump being president. I stopped adding to the montage about a year ago because it was too long and I'll never play it more than this 2 minutes and 20 seconds. In fact, we're not even going to get through all of this because it's so ridiculous. But it's just the bombshell of the day. It's, now he has to be impeached. Now, come on. Now everyone has to agree he's racist. Really, just.
Breaking news, a new bombshell.
One astrologer says this means the beginning of the end for President Donald Trump.
The beginning of the end of the Trump presidency.
Trump will resign.
Trump is going to resign.
Is this the tipping point? I know we've said it over and over.
You think this is the tipping point?
And over and over.
This is a bombshell, tipping point, bombshell, tipping point, bombshell. It's just another one. They'll forget this next week, and they'll be on to the next outrage. You know, it was Megan Rapinoe last week. Now it's the squad this week. It'll be something new next week. People with short attention spans, you got to keep it moving for them. 844-RADIO-US, 844-723-4687. Audio that's not going to prove, but highly suggest that these people don't like America. And I think they hate it. What do you think? Do they hate America? 844-723-4687. This is the Wells Report. I'm James Parker in for John David Wells on the USA Radio Network.
It is a horrible scenario, but it happens. Dennis writes about his wife. She was diagnosed with leukemia. In fact, she's a 2-time survivor. And in the midst of all that, they ran up over $1 million in medical bills. Thankfully, they're Medi-Share members. And Dennis says they are so thankful for that, how others came together to meet their needs. And that's how so many Medi-Share members feel. This is not health insurance. It's different. You don't have to pay for things you don't believe in. And like Dennis found out, it just works. So if you join Medi-Share, not only do you save a lot of money, the typical family saves about $500 a month, but you know where your money's going each month. You're helping people, and if the time should come, they'll be helping and even praying for you. So yes, it's different, and as more than 400,000 people now know when it comes to healthcare costs, different is beautiful. Find out more. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
This report is brought to you by Crescent Tools. Most toolboxes contain a crescent wrench, which tradesmen and DIYers have trusted for more than a century. But what many call a crescent wrench isn't always the real deal. The reason? True crescent wrenches are made by Crescent Tools, which started producing the adjustable wrench in 1907. However, few realize that Crescent is the brand, not the tool. Nor do they understand that Crescent makes more than just wrenches. Brendan Walsh, Director of Product Management at Crescent Tools.
What a person thinks is a crescent wrench may just be an adjustable wrench, and there's a difference. We've innovated the crescent wrench to meet the needs of today's tool user and have expanded to offer a solid crew of tools in addition to wrenches.
While wrenches are their signature products, Crescent manufactures 2,800 tools including files, snips, storage cabinets, and measuring tapes, establishing Crescent Tools as one of the most respected professional hand tool brands in the world. So, the next time you reach into your toolbox, check to see if it's actually a crescent wrench or an imposter. For more information, visit www.crescenttool.com.
Are you drowning in debt? Are you struggling to make minimum payments? Did you know that on average, a household with at least one credit card struggles with over $15,000 in credit card debt? If this sounds like you, know that it's not your fault. Credit card debt happens to good people. Credit card companies lure you in with low introductory rates and low minimum payments. Before you know it, you're in over your head. National Debt Relief has helped thousands of good people just like you become debt-free with our Debt Reset program that will dramatically reduce your debt down to a fraction of what you owe. Our Debt Reset program is customized to get you debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months with one low monthly payment. If you owe over $10,000 in credit card debt or even personal loans, call 800-274-9490. There are no upfront fees or out-of-pocket expenses. You don't pay a dime until we succeed. Call now to see how the Debt Reset program can work for you. 800-274-9490. That's 800-274-9490. 800-274-9490.
Hey, how you doing? This is the Wells Report with John David Wells on the USA Radio Network. I'm James Parker, sitting in for John David Wells. Phone number, if you want to be a part of the show, 844-RADIO-US, 844-723-4687. All right, so after concentration camps on the border, the Tea Party is xenophobic, white supremacy, capitalism is irredeemable, 10 million's enough, talking about changing lifestyles, don't have kids, I'm the boss, no hamburgers for every meal, factory farming's illegal, the billionaire system is immoral. I mean, do you want me to play some of these AOC clips for you just to give you the whole rundown here? So here's some AOC for you.
Do we live in a moral world that allows for billionaires? Is that a moral outcome in and of itself?
No, it's not.
It's not. I do think a system that allows billionaires to exist when there are parts of Alabama where people are still getting ringworm because they don't have access to public health is wrong.
Is that how you get ringworm? Anyway, more AOC, capitalism's irredeemable.
It means that we seek and prioritize profit and the accumulation of money above all else, and we seek it at any human and environmental cost. That is what that means. And to me, that ideology is not sustainable and cannot be redeemed.
All right, one more.
The United States is running concentration camps on our southern border.
This is enough. All right, so America, which is the greatest supporter and purveyor of capitalism the world's ever known, free market economics, we've gone and we fought wars on the other side of the planet over economic systems to supplant the socialism that she loves for the capitalism that she hates. That's what we were doing in Vietnam. That's what we were doing in Korea. That's kind of what we were doing in the Middle East. That's what we were doing in Nicaragua. That was when we tried to interfere in Cuba. That's our beef with Venezuela right now. If you're a socialist, America is the worst thing that has ever happened to your ideology. On top of that, capitalism's irredeemable, which means we're not just doing it wrong. Like when you go say, hey, socialism looks like kind of sorry when you look at Venezuela. Yeah, they're just doing it wrong. They haven't done it right. No, that's not what she says. She doesn't say socialism's irredeemable. Capitalism's irredeemable. And then on top of all that, we're running concentration camps on the border. Sound like someone who loves the country? So really, a very decent reaction to that should be, man, you think we're so full of racists and all that good stuff? Why are you still here? In fact, this isn't a country that forces you to stay like Cuba does, like the Soviet Union did, like China does, like North Korea does. This is an open country. If you don't like it, you can go. Why are you still here?
But if you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay, too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
Notice how everyone's clapping here. If you turn on the news and you hear, if you don't like it, you can leave. What's the response in the mainstream media? I mean, they act like he just said that might be the scariest thing I've ever heard. It's literally Hitler. Hitler wasn't telling them to leave. Hitler was telling them to get into the concentration camps against their will. And I'm tired of the Hitler stuff. I mean, if you think this country is dumb enough that it would elect literally Hitler, you're trying to tell me you love that country? That's a great country, and your heart's just overflowing with love for this country. All right, credit goes to Sean Hannity for this one.
This is what got you wound up on the Philadelphia Inquirer front page, like Hitler. They got you in a personage of Hitler right now, a characterization of that.
Even Trump himself seems to be encouraging the comparison. Look at this photo from a recent rally. Okay?
When he said today, America first, it was not just the racial, the Hitlerian background to it.
I've wondered since my teens what it would have been like, what it must have been like for distant relatives I will never know to have been a German and to watch what seemed like a strange but evidently unimportant political movement rise up from the fringes of my own society. I have wondered for decades, what would it be like to see my country devolve and deteriorate from democracy to mindless, soulless cult worship? Thanks to Donald Trump, I am getting the chance to find out.
Why don't you leave, Keith Olbermann? Can I say that to him? He's a white fella. He's not an immigrant. I think he's straight, right? He's not shit. So there's no grievance minority card you can play against him. So Keith Olbermann, if it's so bad, why don't you get the hell out of here? And tell me how great it is over. Go to Venezuela. All right, 844-723-4687, 844-RADIO-US. If you want to join the conversation, I'd love to hear your answer. Do they hate America? Because I'm kind of getting the feeling they do. I'm James Parker, in for John David Wells. This is the Wells Report on the USA Radio Network.
Hi, this is Wayne Alaruth, the capitalist evangelist. I'm here to introduce you to a special company with the potential to be one of the great all-American stories. Fortum Resources is a publicly traded, diversified natural resource company with oil, gas, and mining properties in North America and internationally. Fortum is led by Chairman Mark Brunner, the legendary oil man who built Ultra Petroleum from a 15-cent stock to $200 per share, creating $15 billion in shareholder profits. Mark has 30 years of experience in the oil and gas industry, overseeing contracts with Halliburton, ExxonMobil, and Hess. Fortum has over 350,000 acres of oil and gas resources, and more than half the acreage has been evaluated by world-renowned auditors Deloitte Touche. Fortum also owns the rights to the 180 square mile City of Gold mining property. Fortum is traded on 2 global exchanges, U.S. ticker symbol FTMR. Repeat, FTMR. This is a rare ground floor opportunity to capitalize on a proven energy industry legend. Please visit FortumResources.com. That's Fortum, F-O-R-T-E-M, resources.com.